What's up, guys? It was another fantastic year for Heroes Con 2025. Coming in, this is the main entrance here, and it was always busy this weekend. They were saying over the loudspeaker that sales were up 20% for ticket sales over last year. And talking to my brother, I think part of that has to do with some of the stuff that's going on downtown Charlotte. He had informed me that I guess they were doing a lot of renovations downtown, so construction had some of the foot traffic area affected. Um, so I don't know how many people just kind of walked up to the show versus pre-sale, but they said it was a record year, and it definitely felt like it. I know this was a personal best for me in talking with some of my other artist friends. This is a peek at Artist Alley here. Um, some of my artist friends did pretty good. Some of them were down a little bit. It's sort of your standard fare, but this is one of my favorite comic shops that we just looked down right there. They always have sketch covers. You always have to have your essential sequentials. They were representing Dave Finch, Art Adams, a bunch of big names. They had that whole section on lockdown. Um, and I was right down the road from them. So one of the, I guess, the big complaints that I've had for since I pretty much started doing Heroes is the line to get in for the loading dock is insane. Like, it tends to be wrapped around the building. You'll end up waiting a couple hours, and I was a little caught off guard. Look at this booth. Look at this guy. I was a little caught off guard because there was no line to speak of when I showed up. I went to the NASCAR garage anyways. I just cart my stuff over just to make my life a little bit easier. And it seemed as though they were doing a Wednesday load in and Thursday load in. And I think between those two things, a lot of the big dogs that, need more time in the dock, they got through all right. So this year in particular, met a lot of folks that are becoming good repeat clients and friends. Folks that I talk to regularly through, Instagram and Facebook and all that. So coming into this show, I mean, I already had a couple pieces sold. I had a couple people that were asking to hold things in particular. So I had a really good feeling that it was going to be a solid year, and 2025 did not disappoint. Um, Big ticket items were original art. And if you come to the show, you know that, like, number one, there's a lot of big collectors, and there's a lot of big money in Charlotte. And a lot of folks that they don't necessarily just want to buy prints. They don't want to buy something that everyone else is going to have. They want to have something special. So even if you are selling, prints or comics that you created, even if you can just do a little remark on the comic or even a remark on your print, it goes a long way with this crowd. They want to have something unique. And I feel like if I had hindsight 2020, I would have put more original art out on the table. I already had a number of big frames that were soaking up a lot of real estate, and we moved several of those, which was really good. Um, I had my comic rack, which usually has my comics displayed on it. I went all out on sketch covers, and we moved a ton of sketch covers this weekend. There's part of me that wishes that instead of putting out all of my canvas prints, that I would have put a bunch of more originals in frames. So I'm already conspiring for next year. There's a buddy, Chris. We just looked at Mikkel. Check out Mikkel Overholt's stuff. And Chris Loft 817, they're friends of the show, friends of mine. And Brian Lacey. I actually met him at Heroes Minicon back coming out of COVID, which is a whole different show. It's funny, though, because there's a handful of folks that they reminded me they met me at that Minicon. That was my first time doing Charlotte, and they had me in the back corner facing the corner for a show that didn't have the best attendance because I forget if it was Delta or Omicron or whatever was creeping up. So we didn't have a ton of people coming through the door. But made a lot of good connections at that show. Made some good friends, and Brian was definitely one of them. Along with Chris, who I didn't see Chris this year, but Chris is a big collector. Him and his son, I usually see him every year. So hopefully they were able to make it out, even if it was just for a little bit. But one of the things that I'm always kind of curious about this show. Dave Brown here. What's up, Dave? Um, Dave's a good artist buddy of mine. I met up in the I think it was Grand Rapids maybe, but he's got some really killer. If you like Ninja Turtles or crossover stuff, he's got even his own comics are all really great. Um, the the big challenge is when I actually have time to walk around and record everything. Of course, nobody's here, so half the stuff is either not set up or they've got blankets over their stuff, like this guy or the gal. Um, Scotty Young's booth was slammed all weekend. Uh, I didn't get a ton of time to go walk and check everything out. I was working on commissions and then just talking to people and hanging at the booth, which, you know, I'm supposed to be busy. I'm still supposed to be manning the helm, so it's a good thing I didn't have a whole lot of time to go check everything out. At the same time, there's a lot of great stuff down through here that wish I would have had more time. So I don't know. I'm thinking about next year doing things a little bit different. I got to reach out to Carla, one of the gals that helps run the show. I'd love to do a double booth. I might be overextending, but I've got some ideas with it, and it might seem a bit lofty, but if I can hang up more original art to sell, plus make a little area where people want to sit down, they can sit down for a minute. It'd be pretty cool. So we'll see, but lots of great art. Over here, we're gonna make our way. It's very cool that they have. We looked at it for a quick second. They have an artist supply station, and they actually have reasonable prices on stuff. So, artist friends, if you haven't had a chance to get down there, check them out. Because even if you just need to restock on a couple things, it's good to go. And there's Caroline. She's got some really cool art too. Real creepy, real good stuff. I was around that area a couple years ago. And it's the auction is the big feature of the weekend. So a lot of artists will submit pieces since they were guests. They were invited to the show. They'll put something up for the auction. I believe, I don't know if they're doing it this way still or not, but part of it is to help fund the show, but then part of it is also to, there's a cool Chrissy Zolo piece, and then part of it is to go to a charitable cause. So I've put in pieces the last few years. I unfortunately forgot the piece that I was going to submit. There's Mikkel's Batman Who Laughs, and I just forgot to bring it. So maybe next year. And there's Adriana Mello. She always does a killer job with her Copic markers, alcohol markers. I did not attend. I have yet to attend the auction. I've heard it's pretty cool to just hang out, meet some of the other artists, have a couple drinks, do your thing. But typically when I'm in Charlotte, I'm there to hang out with family. I don't get to see my nieces a whole lot. I don't get to see my brother and his wife too often. So typically once a show wraps up, you know, everybody else is out looking for a place to go grab dinner or whatnot. I'm in a hurry to get back home and play some Exploding Kittens and get absolutely trounced by the nieces. Except for the one, she's way too young. She's very little. I don't think she could play Exploding Kittens, even if she wanted to. She'd probably try to eat the cards. But they had a lot of big names. It was a good time, and I'm grateful for everyone who came out and supported. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.